Hello and welcome to the Save It for the podcast. My name is Neiman Araki, and joined with me today is the lovely and beautiful
Ya boy. Yeetus McFinnegus. All right, no.
Yes, joining us all the way from Finland,
I don't know.
Yeetus McFinnegus.
Are you actually implying that Yeetus McFinnegus would know where he is? Bro, what's wrong with you?
You're right.
Bro, that's some cash money of you, bro. All right.
It was a very wrong assumption of me.
Joke's on you, I was actually Aaron this entire time.
Oh, he's not from Finland? No!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, things would be so much easier if I was Finnish. But anyway, I'm Aaron. Hi.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Well, the ceiling and it's not going anywhere. I don't know why. I don't know why I would ask that. But anyway, I'm Aaron. He's Neiman. This is the Save It for the podcast. You know the drill by now. I hope you do. I don't know.
Idaho. That's a state.
Idaho. Whoa, bro. Who's Idaho voting for this November elections? Let me actually check that for a second. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just need to
It's okay.
Idaho.
It's okay.
Fuck was that noise? Oh God damn it.
Wow.
We're barely 2 minutes in.
My God.
Oh my God. Why am I so bad at this? Why am I so bad at this? Why am I so bad at this actually though? Oh my gosh.
We need to get you one of those wristband or rubber bands. Then you have to,
Yeah, one of those dog collars that tase you from afar. Yeah, there you go. Whenever I cuss during an OG episode, you just yeah.
Or you know what? I should just put a thing in the corner of the screen that just says "Don't cuss, Aaron," or I'll just plaster it onto my face.
There you go. Just create a program that flashes on my screen every once in a while. That's like a reminder, don't cuss, Aaron.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those annoying anime character things that close your tabs every now and again. You know what I'm saying? I remember seeing them and I was like, that's so bad though. And yeah, 1 second. Idaho. Is Idaho Democratic? I didn't know that. Interesting. No, it actually looks like it's
red state.
It actually looks like a red state. Oh yeah, it's a red state. All right. I have no idea. Hold on. But anyway, though, this is the OG episode, so let's not talk about politics. Let's just dig our head in the sand and pretend everything is okay for once.
Yes.
Yes.
Such is the world of entertainment, right? Well, there's a cut number 1. Hold on.
And we're back.
Yes.
There you go.
Welcome.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to take a break to punch a bunch of walls because my internet kept on disconnecting. So, there you go.
Ooh, a horse. Special guest.
Oh my gosh.
That's what that reminded me of. So I just wanted to share.
Hey, Neiman, are you calling me a stallion now? Is that what you're doing, bro?
Oh, you bet. Megan,
We're gonna
Megan
stop
the
this
Stallion. Don't know her. I only know Aaron the Stallion.
Yeah, there you go. What was that one name? Steel Stallion? There you go. The founder of Stalliongrad. Oh my gosh, there's a game called Hearts of Iron 4, which is basically I can't remember if I talked about this in the podcast, but it's basically like a World War II simulator, and the modding community is just all over the place.
Yeah.
You know? And there's one mod which is Equestria at War,
Oh my god.
which takes the My Little Pony universe, adds themes of ethnic genocide and
Oh,
like invasion, communism,
why
like
not? Right?
the oppression of imperialist monarchies, and I'll just put them all in there. And my gosh, it's just it's such a journey.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and one of the most popular countries to play as in that mod is Stalingrad, which is like a
Like a
communist conclave that broke off the dominion of what's her name, the princess,
oh God, what's her
the
Celestia.
Sun Celestia. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go, Celestia's
Why do
domain.
I know
And
that information?
yeah, who knows? And they have to deal with the famine and build the palace of the Soviets, and either puppet communist governments or take over the entire thing, worldwide revolution versus, and it's political power grab
Wow.
in the country itself, and it's it's a journey, man.
That's amazing.
Oh
It's
yeah.
called Hearts of Iron 4.
It's
What
called
is
Hearts of Iron 4, and the mod's name is Equestria at War.
what is the World War II? Is it supposed to be like a fighting thing or like kind of like a modern
It's
warfare
a
type
Yeah,
situation or
it's a strategy game where um it's really actually it's not that complicated when you play it. It's just complicated to explain. Essentially, uh, just look it up. I don't have the energy to look it up after the podcast, please.
Oh
There you
yes,
go.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes,
There
yes.
you yeah. So yeah, I just yeah. It's a Equestria at War is such a such a mod, man.
Yeah, I imagine, the
Oh yeah.
modded community of any game tends to have, mods like that, right?
Oh yeah.
So, but that's what makes the game more fun, honestly, and the
That
community
is
more
what.
fun at
Oh my
large. So,
gosh, my second favorite mod actually is a Fallout mod,
on
and
Hearts of Iron 4
on
or
Hearts of Iron 4, yeah. And it's the mod itself has another mod where you get to play as the Enclave and restore the United States government, and it's gosh, Hearts of Iron, man, such a good mod community. Um,
nice.
this
And
is where
so,
you tell me all modders are racists in the Hearts of Iron community, and and I go, oh my god, childhood ruined, or something like that.
if only I knew about
Yeah,
the modders of Hearts of Iron 4.
yeah, there you go.
So then I imagine there's going to be a Hearts of Iron 5 since this seems like a series.
Um, I don't know actually. They've been producing DLCs recently, so not too sure if no. Was it Paradox that? Oh wait, that's a bad idea. Opening Google Chrome when my connection is already so finicky. Neiman, would you mind looking up who developed Hearts of Iron 4? I think it's Paradox
Yes.
Games,
Yes,
but
I can.
I can't be sure right now since they literally have a finger in every pie, strategy
Paradox,
game wise.
yeah, development studio.
Yeah, there you go, Paradox. Dude, Paradox has so many games. I think they have. I don't want to I don't want to say something wrong right now, but hello.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
here.
good. I thought we disconnected for a second now. Um.
I'm just looking at their games list. So I have the answer sheet right in front of me.
Oh, very
So
nice.
try your hand.
Did they produce Stellaris? I think they did, right?
Yes. Yes, they did.
Stellaris, right. And Stellaris is essentially like a strategy game where you get to conquer the galaxy. and developed nations, and
Wow.
either integrate people or commit genocide or enslave entire. It's fucked up, but it's oh no.
My gosh.
That's 2 for 2.
That is two
Yep.
for two.
Very
My
nice.
goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It seems like they have a thing for conquest and invading other things. Let's see, they've got.
Honestly, it's fun, like
I
it's
mean, it is fun.
did they
I'm
did
just
they
saying
produce
it's just
okay,
a.
can you see if they produced the Crusader Kings series as well? Or was that another
Yes,
studio? I
yes,
can't
they did.
my gosh, they did.
You're 100.
Jesus.
You're all good right
Yeah,
now. So
yeah, there you go.
two for
Crusader
two.
Kings 2 was one of the games that I wanted for a while now, but now I'm glad I never bought it because Crusader Kings 3 came out. And I know it's going to be a while since before all the DLCs come out and, like game changer mechanics get implemented and it's like all those different things. But for now, I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, I want them, but they're expensive. So no.
Yeah, it really do be like that.
Yeah. And I actually bought Democracy 3 recently, the Africa version of it, which is less of a strategy game, more of a, political finagling game more than anything else, where you get to like slide counters up and down, how communist will you be? How much of a
Ah,
jerk face will you be? That kind
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
And it's like and what you have to essentially do is like develop your country to a good place actually, or just double down on crime and like create a police state. It all depends on what you do. Um, but yeah, like Democracy 3 Africa, like Democracy 3 always brought along their own panache to it in the form of you might get assassinated if you disgruntle a bunch of groups too much. But like Democracy 3 Africa, you start out and everyone's already unhappy, so now you have to like you know essentially establish
Peace.
of police state light
Oh,
before
okay.
you move on to educate the populace and like get them to accept your lord and savior Bill Nye or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And like, improve the environment, get rid of asthma, get rid of, all that kind of stuff,
Interesting.
you know, ban child labor or
Keep
overlook
it.
it or just, legalize it or keep it. Yeah, there you go. So it's like, yeah, there's also, elements of political power distribution, like are you gonna essentially the game's currency, like there are two game currencies in there in the form of political power and money. And like one of the things you have to do is balance the budget, and you already start off with like most countries you start off with a huge deficit where you have to like finagle your taxes and all that kind of stuff, and
Wow.
like like make sure you don't spend too much on certain things and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, and yeah, and political power or political capital, sorry, you gain from either having good ministers or just focusing power on yourself, essentially,
Hmm.
like limiting political power distribution, like destroying legislative and judicial independence, and like tying the judges to you, and like all that kind of stuff. Or you cannot, and as establish an actual democracy and be a
Wow.
good person. It all depends on you.
So the goal of the game is to forward your society as much as possible, right? There's no like
Or just
end.
mess everything up. It depends on what you choose to do at that time. You
Interesting.
might want to like
Interesting.
just for fun try out a police state or something like that.
Yeah.
What I end up doing is I want to go down like an evil campaign, but I end up just going, no, I have to educate the populace. The
Uh,
adult education subsidies,
yes.
they look so inviting to me.
Yes. Oh,
Like I have to click on them, and it's like, like, oh, unemployment benefits are so low.
You're
Like,
too
oh my,
kind, Aaron.
yeah,
Even to the
I
point of fictional video game countries,
yeah,
Aaron.
I know.
My goodness.
Like it's like, you know, like, oh my gosh, I have to, bring the death penalty in order to like nail in the evil campaign, but community policing helps so much, and it's like, oh my
Heart of
gosh,
gold. A heart of gold.
don't you patronize me?
It's okay. I was gonna say, uh, yeah, how dare you for being kind?
Yeah,
Um,
there you go.
I was gonna say excuse me. In a lot of ways, it actually reminds me of the some of my interests in I realized recently that I have a very niche interest in a very particular type of gameplay,
Right.
and it's essentially capitalism. And I'm starting to worry, not really worry, but kind of just something in the back of my mind of,
Explain, please.
yeah, yes, I will.
Because
So,
right now I'm just imagining you, taking advantage of a system and like, exploiting people in MMORPGs to the point where you become the Jeff Bezos of World of Warcraft or something like that.
so kind of. Let me explain.
Okay,
So,
sure.
okay, so here's where it started, right? So,
It
you
all
know,
started in my garage.
it all started when I stepped on my first ant. I was like,
Oh
wow, the amount of power I have.
my God. Oh,
I'm
geez.
kidding. I'm
Okay, we're
kidding.
going that
Totally
route.
kidding. Um, no, so we all know Minecraft has a huge modded community, right?
Yeah.
And Minecraft is known for its mod packs,
Mm-hmm.
which, back in the day used to only have like 70 mods, but nowadays they're starting to have like over 300 as like the norm.
Jeez.
Um,
Oh.
but a lot of the mod packs, usually have a theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first one of the first mod packs I tried was this kind of civilization progressing type mod pack, which
Nice,
essentially
dude. I love mod packs like that.
they're awesome,
They
and you
are
can spend
awesome, yeah.
hours on it.
Dude, do you know the village builder mod? I just love that.
I've
I
not seen the village builder mod.
Dude, oh my gosh. And you get to like build like a marketplace and like and it's like,
Ooh,
oh my gosh. I just love details and it's like
yeah.
yeah, but please continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. There's a lot of features that I wish were implemented in vanilla Minecraft too,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
um, yeah, one of the first mod packs was this like civilization building thing,
Nice.
and the point was basically to start out, from being a medieval, kingdom to being like
Mm.
an industrial like tycoon, right?
Nice,
Because
nice,
that's
nice,
what the mod
nice.
pack entailed. And so I tried it for the first time, and I started out, having a regular kingdom, right? I
Mm-hmm.
had like NPCs, I had my farmers, getting my
Yeah.
wheat for me, and I had my little miners getting, making quarries and getting my resources there. And
Getting my cobbles and my stones.
yeah,
There
I
you
had,
go.
my animal ranchers and all that, and they only
Yeah.
required food, so all I had to do was just give them
Ah,
a few stacks of bread.
sorry about that.
It's all
I
good.
forgot to turn off my alarm.
Shame. Shame.
Shame.
um
Yeah.
so I just gave them a few stacks of bread, and they worked happily from day until night, right? And little by little, I grew my kingdom. Soon I had like multiple farmers and multiple ranchers and
Very
multiple
nice.
quarries. And so I just had a happy little village. And then eventually I was rich enough to feed guards and then priests and then, the whole kit and caboodle of a medieval kingdom.
Question. Question. Do you get like craftsmen and artisans and all that kind of stuff in
Yeah,
this mod?
yeah.
Nice,
So
dude.
it was
I
really
love
nice.
details.
So yeah, and you could make like auto crafting, stations and all that, so they can craft stuff for you. And
Nice.
um, so I, was doing all this stuff, right? And
Right.
then I realized, right, after I, had like 5 like huge farms and these like all like and like this whole like chunk, like multiple chunks of Minecraft just gone because of all the quarries and whatnot. I was like,
Right.
I need to up production. This is not enough. And so I moved on to the next phase of the mod pack, which is industrialization, right?
Oh
And
no.
so I
Oh
started out
no.
with water power, and
Right.
and then I started, uh, making electricity and starting to, it sounds worse, and it does sound worse as I go on. But I started cutting down trees, and and starting to take the water to pump out and power my dynamos to power my machines, right? And then eventually I got to the point where I could make electric quarries, which were like 10 times as fast as as an NPC. So I basically just
Right.
removed all of my miners and directed them to farming or whatnot, because the quarries worked 10 times as fast with electricity. So I just went with the
Jeez.
electricity route. Um, and so I started doing that, right? And then eventually it got to the point where I was just raking in resources of
My
just
God.
and I didn't and here's the funniest thing too, right?
What?
I think so there's a feature which I just think is the most hilarious thing,
What?
where before you can there's a way to make electricity where you take an NPC, and there's a block that's basically like a crank, right? Where they basically just
Yeah, they
turn a
be
crank,
yeah.
and it powers electricity, right?
Uh-huh.
So here's what I did. I made like 10 of those. I connected them to a generator,
Oh my God.
and I got 10 different NPCs. I built a little cave with no light, no like anything except for like a chest of food. And I just made 10 different NPCs work in the tunnels, just cranking at that wheel, giving me free electricity. And
Naughty villagers go in the crank cave.
exactly, right? And all I did was supply them with food, like no
Oh
light or
no.
anything. And I was like, it was like my little slave hole where
Dude,
they powered my machines.
the idea itself is making me uncomfortable.
Uh, it was so, I don't know why it was a feature, but it was.
Like
So I decided
like
to abuse the heck out of it.
I'd at least put in like, like I'd at least pretty up the cave, like give it some marble, like put some glowstone, put like a flower field, like that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I
But
did not do
no,
any
no,
of
you
that.
should just no sunlight, you go into crank cave.
Exactly. Yep,
Produce electricity for motherland.
exactly. And then
Yeah, there you
they just
go.
provided me with free electricity before, of course, until the point where I could get solar panels and, wind turbines and all that, right? And then eventually I was able to go to space, because that's what the mod entailed. And I was just about to colonize the moon, but unfortunately, that's when I piqued my interest in that mod
Oh,
pack
gotcha.
specifically. So
Yeah, no, the moon was too much. Like, no, no.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go.
It would have been too much, right? But
Yeah.
definitely would have been really cool. Um, but yeah, and then right here's the oh
And we're back. Sorry about that awkward cut yet again. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get to a point where we don't need internet to record our episodes, just to upload our episodes. But yeah, dude, I actually understand what you mean. Like I at some point I actually lose interest after going on in like that kind of game for too long. Like for example, especially in Total War games where I like, I moved down the tech tree, I've conquered provinces, like I've established myself as a, superpower. I got, armies that are ready to like defend the motherland whenever they're called upon, navies to defend the coastline, my cities are all built up, and I'm just like, well, yep, good game.
Yeah.
Because like,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Because like the feeling of starting up is like really nice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, that's why I love games that like, and I don't know if there are actually games like this so far, but like I love games that can like, you know, may like, up the stakes as you go along, because so
Mm-hmm.
that, you don't reach a certain point where it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, all right, this is just a stomp fest at this point. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, for example, upgrading you from like a regional power to like a local power, or a, like a regional superpower to a, like a
Mm-hmm.
worldwide superpower. And it's like, you have to like that kind of stuff, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it has to make you feel like the stakes are getting
Yeah.
upped, so yeah.
That's why I'm kind of scared of how long I'll last in Factorio. Because I know you deleted it, but it
Yeah.
has all of the ingredients to be the most addicting game for me as
Oh yeah.
possible,
Oh yeah.
right? Because I already have like 80 hours in it. Um,
Yeah.
and I bought it a couple of weeks ago, and I technically haven't even finished the game yet. Because
Mm-hmm.
the goal of the game is to launch a rocket essentially, because you're supposed to start
Nah,
from
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
and get to launching a rocket into space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like from what it looks like, it seems like you can keep just getting bigger and bigger. Because one of the things I was looking at was like, does this game have replay value, right? And I was looking
More.
on Reddit.
More.
More exactly, and I was like, one of the things they were saying was, oh, this isn't a game about replay value, it's a game about just getting as big as possible until you're a global
Just go
superpower.
on. Just go. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's yeah, it has like all of
Yeah.
the addictive elements of Clash of Clans, but without
Yeah.
any of like the waiting periods. So
Oh no.
it's just an extremely and you get to vanquish the natives of the planet, which is super.
Oh my God.
It
Wait,
sounds bad.
do you have the option of like integrating them, or like, protecting them?
I'm sure there's a mod for it somewhere.
Oh no.
Um,
Okay, I'm glad I deleted it early on, then I would have been sad to like,
if it
it's
makes you
just
feel better, they're little alien monsters, which I guess makes it somewhat
no.
better.
No, it doesn't, but
At least they're
sure.
not people, is what I'm saying.
I,
I
I
realize
swear to
as I'm saying this out loud, might sound bad to some
It
people.
it kind of does, my guy. Not gonna lie.
Which is why I was saying earlier, like, this is how I live out my fantasy of being Jeff Bezos and just conquering all life.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Jeez, I've recently re-downloaded a mobile game that I bought like months ago. Actually, it's called Pocket City, where it's pretty on the nose. You build a city, and it's like Sims, and like you have to tackle pollution, and like provide recreation and health, and like security for your citizens. And it's like there's a happiness factor, and like they've recently added a new feature called regions, where you get to like expand your city into a new region. And it's like, like, oh, you make it bigger, and it's like, yay. And like I really appreciate that, because the map itself is actually pretty small in map standards, and it's
mhm.
really hard to like expand more than 30,000 citizens without like absolutely ruining them, and like taxing the hell out of them, and like barely providing jobs for all of them. And it's like, yeah, but yeah, I really appreciate that. What I often do is like like build the city as much as possible, like destroy pollution, just like get a theme park going and like, like a recreational district going,
Yeah.
and it's like, all these different things. And then I lower taxes as much as possible and like get that, get that. It has a traffic system and a transportation system, and it's so good because you get to see where the congestions usually are and you get to tackle them too. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you like build parking spaces, like, huge parking buildings and all that kind of stuff, and it's good. It's
Yeah.
good stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
I actually might be too nice for those kinds of games.
Yeah, it seems like uh
Like
I
back
would
like
have
back
just been
to like no back to Democracy 3 Africa. Like I even when I'm trying, like as I said before, even when I'm trying to be like, a absolute bastard, I go, I'm about to click on the, corporal punishment allowed thing.
gonna be like,
And then I'm like,
eh.
but no, the telecommunications initiative is so easy to do. So it's like,
My gosh. I
yeah.
would have clicked it right away. I would have been like, how do I maximize the unhappiness of these
Oh yeah,
people?
dude.
So that's what I
That's
would
why,
be thinking if I were playing
yeah,
that game.
like I often go like, oh, we need more armed police, but upgrading from overcrowded cells to extensive rehabilitation prisons is so easy. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's always the easy
by the way,
route, right?
30-minute mark, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Um, it's always the easiest route that attracts us the most, right? So,
See, yeah. One thing that allows you to essentially, actually no, I don't think that's the case. Okay, one thing that allows you to go, you know, like find a loophole on dealing with extremist groups and preventing your own assassination is tackling the problem of the rights of demonstration and press freedom.
mhm.
And I I can't remember how it works, but if you um what essentially happens is that if you maximize the rights of demonstration and press freedom, what happens is that like you get more protests, and the civil demonstrations become even more of a problem. But extremist groups going violent is less of a threat then. So what I often do is just, deal with that. Even if the country is in crisis, I'm just like, no, you guys deserve to protest. I know
Wow.
you, I know a central theme in your protest is guillotine, but that's your right, So I, I actually might be too nice.
Yeah.
Am I a trend? Oh my gosh. I am too nice. Oh no. This is a problem. I often introduce myself as an absolute bastard to people, but like have I been lying to others and myself this entire time?
Maybe you have.
Do I need a bastardization arc? Is that it?
I think so. I think
Where I where I transition from hero to villain?
you know what? I wouldn't be dissatisfied if I were to witness that character arc. So,
Yeah.
you know,
One
go
of
at
my
it.
one Yeah, one of my favorite storylines is essentially the hero being corrupted by the villain, and the villain seeing the wrong ways while the hero like gets corrupted more and more and more until they're eventually
Mm,
messed up
mhm.
and the villain is willing to go back on their ways, and it's like, whoa, big old switcheroo. And it's like bonus points if enemies to lovers plotline is thrown in there for flavor.
Just the sexual tension between uh, enemies is just
Yeah.
it's hot. It's very
Oh yeah.
steamy. So,
Homoerotic sword fights is the reason I'm still alive.
oh yes,
Yes.
both kinds. Um, so. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Jesus.
a I can't say I'm I can't I had to think about my phrasing of
What
that. I'm a
can't you,
fan. I'm a
Neiman?
fan of that as
Yeah,
well.
there
I
you
was
go.
about to say I can't say I'm not a fan, which just translates to I'm a fan.
I was really confused for a second there when you said that, so I'm glad you said I'm a fan instead of like doing the loop-de-loops with your
My
linguistics.
redundant phrasing.
Yeah, I can't say I'm not can't fan boy not. Yes, very
Yeah. I
nice.
can't say I'm not an anti-fan of homoerotic sword
Antifa,
fighting.
not in my Christian household. All right,
Yeah.
jeez. No
Good stuff.
politics, no politics. Bad. All right.
I mean, we've already sworn uh
It was
or
only
sweared? Sworn?
twice. Sworn?
I think
Swore.
sworn is the proper
Swore.
term.
Swore. Yeah.
Swore.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, you just reminded me of another good game, Kingdoms and Castles.
Not heard of this. Is this a
Yeah.
similar
It it's like kind of a
kingdom building thing?
it's like I really love it because of its like simplistic art style and like, oh my God, it's been such a long time since I've actually watched some like Kingdoms and Castles videos on YouTube. Jeez, I wonder how it like went on. It's essentially like there's like an island chain where you have to like build your own kingdom on that. And you can build like wooden walls, but like you can also build like high stone walls and like towers and archers and ballistas and like dragons attack and Vikings come with trolls and all that kind of stuff to
Dang.
raid and ransack your kingdom. And like my favorite, okay, I have a problem with YouTubers who do Kingdoms and Castles videos. All right.
Hmm.
And forgive me, but I'm about to curse. Okay.
Like
See,
I
here's the
haven't
thing.
the other times.
Here's the thing. No, listen, I have proper reasoning for me cursing, okay? This
Great.
time, cussing, okay? Now, here's the thing, all right? When you start off, and okay, one more thing before I get to the rant part, okay?
Hmm.
One thing I really like about it is that a central sort of building for your kingdom is the keep, right?
Hmm.
And like you get to like add more and more buildings, but you don't have to like put them next to your keep. But if you do put them next to your keep, it like fits in perfectly, like the throne room or the financial room or the
Hmm.
barracks, and it's like and like you're like, oh my gosh, my castle is becoming bigger. And guess what? The keep actually upgrades whenever you build like a central building. So it's like
Wow.
whenever you upgrade your government, you like physically see it becoming better, and it's so good. But
So it's not like
one,
a separate thing you have to upgrade. It just upgrades automatically with your
oh yeah,
other.
oh yeah, it like like the walls get bigger and the buildings get more complicated, and it's just so good. But like, okay, this is not a problem for all Kingdoms and Castles YouTubers, but it is a problem for me, and it's not actually a problem, but it is a problem for me. So shut up. So here's the thing, okay? You have this game where the central theme of it is upgrades, all right? Like,
Hmm.
and forgive me, as I said before, I'm about to cuss. Like, literally, you get to upgrade from shit wooden walls to high stone walls. You get to like build aqueducts and build like bathhouses and like you you have churches, but you also build cathedrals. Like all
Hmm.
this giant stuff, and it's like
Hmm.
and like you upgrade from shit dirt roads to like awesome paved stone roads. And some YouTubers that I've seen, all right, don't upgrade from shit hovels to big dick cottages. And it's like, why?
Why wouldn't they?
Why?
Is there a particular benefit to
They
not?
just they just don't. There's literally no benefit, and it's like it's it's so easy to do.
Hmm.
All right, you can. Oh my gosh, I am actually like I'm legitimately like
Why?
it makes me so angry because it makes like city planning so much more easier, all right? Like Oh my god.
I think that's
I'm
the
actually becoming like fatigued out of how angry I am. Like my body cannot handle how angry it makes
wow.
me. All right?
That
Like
is
it's so easy. And there's a special place in hell for
wow.
YouTubers that don't make their walls even taller, all right? Yeah, I
Wow.
understand if you don't know if it becomes higher, but you literally see that you can build walls upon your walls and
Interesting.
they become like more endurable to attacks, and it's just, oh my god, it's so
Interesting.
frustrating to see a game that has a
It's
central
all about
theme of
upgrades, right?
upgrading, all right, and YouTubers that don't fucking upgrade. So it's like, oh my god, why don't these
Wow.
assholes just do the most
Wow.
simplest thing that the game tells you to do? It actually makes me so mad.
Aaron, let me ask you something, Aaron. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you also get mad when the teacher doesn't erase everything on a whiteboard and there's a little
Shut the
mark
fuck up! It makes me
on
mad.
the I'm just
Oh.
curious. I'm just curious, right? Because it seems like you would also be flustered over that type of
Not
thing.
gonna lie, I don't actually pay like in the ye old days where we had in-person
In-person
classes, I
instruction.
actually did not have like, the most attention span in classes, so I literally didn't care. But
Wow.
what did happen was when the teacher was talking about like, oh, I worked on this presentation so hard, and I planned out this class and all that kind of stuff, where they obviously procrastinated until the last minute, and they just
Threw
like
something together.
threw something together. Like they could literally come up with something better if they slapped their dick on the computer for like 10 minutes before class, and then but no, they literally spent like a single brain cell coming up with this like a shitty presentation with stock images and all that kind of stuff, when they easily could have prepared then the previous day over. Like if they had a Discord, you would see them playing a shitty game from the 90s the entire day, and just go, oh, I didn't have time, I was grading the other classes exams. And I have the utmost respect for teachers, but some teachers, oh boy. Oh boy. All
Yeah.
right, not
Yeah.
I understand how hard it is being a teacher. However, I would like to draw attention upon how hard it is being a student as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a relationship where teachers and students can understand each other's backgrounds, I think, is
Yes.
a healthy one, and one
Yes,
that really
definitely.
fosters the education aspect as well, I think,
Oh yeah.
because at the end of the
Oh yeah.
day, almost everything in life is about chemistry, and
Yeah.
not like the chemicals mixing together, but chemistry as in
Yeah, like the
relationships between people.
how people vibe with each other.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
there you go.
huge factor into everything.
Because here's the thing. I've had I'm sure you would agree. We've all had different types of teachers. There is no single, factory settings teacher. Every teacher is separate. And here's the thing. All right, if a teacher would literally go, oh, honestly, I couldn't, prepare a presentation for today. I am sorry. This might be a slower class period. I was dealing, I was having a mental health, day off, blah, blah, blah. Like, I would have the utmost respect for that teacher. All right. Like, a teacher that can just be genuine with their own students and see them as fellow human beings with with basic levels of understanding is the best teacher that anyone could ever have. All right.
Yeah.
Like, but they just don't do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. I honestly do not know why. Is it because of faculty forcing them to present themselves as this high superior human being that's
Yeah.
like, that has their, you know, life goal of educating people in the best ways possible, blah blah blah, or something like that. Like, I honestly don't like. I cannot pinpoint where the problem is.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, I don't know if it's in faculty. I don't know if it's in like the school board administration or something like that. I honestly do not know where the problems end. This isn't just me like being like, oh, I don't see what the problem is, just be good or something. Like, no, this is not me doing that. This is me asking where the problem is so that we can actually fucking do
Yeah.
something about it.
Yeah.
So
Are
okay,
you?
cussing over.
My
That
gosh.
Yeah, sorry
Um,
about that.
it's all good.
I had a lot of negative energy, especially with the internet disconnects.
And you got it all out, right?
Yes.
In the episode that's supposed to not have swear words, but that's okay.
Sorry, I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm really sorry.
it's okay. I couldn't care less. But I imagine, again, speculation. I imagine it would be two things. One being, first off, just antiquated methods of teaching. Um,
Right, yeah.
because I think it tends to be with older, not all older teachers, but
Yeah.
a higher chance with older teachers to teach sort of, as you've described, this higher status, I know everything, kind of attitude where, you're teaching down at the students rather than
Right,
with the
yeah.
students. Um, and I think it's just, something from the boomer generation or,
Oh yeah.
from previous generations. I think a lot of people are trying to campaign for better education methods
Yeah.
because our classrooms really have not changed in the last 200
And
years.
they really have to.
They really, yeah, I mean, if you look at there was a really profound picture I saw from one of these ads, which I thought was just really interesting to look at, where they
Hmm.
showed multiple different technologies that have evolved in the past 100 years. Like, for example, like the telephone, in 1900 versus now,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And seeing all of those various,
All those advances, all that kind of
advancements.
stuff. Yeah.
And as you can imagine where this is going, you see the classroom 100 years ago, and it looks
Oh yeah.
exactly the same as our
Yeah.
classrooms now.
It really doesn't matter what kind of technologies you present upon a classroom. You can have Chromebooks, you can have, student laptops subsidized, you can have like, smart boards where teachers can write stuff and it just like copies and saves everything, and like, you know, like presentation, like it doesn't matter what you have. All right, this is not a matter of technological advancement. This is a matter of social advancement,
Yeah,
and we really have not had much social advancement. you
yeah,
know
yeah,
so like, yes, thank goodness, re- um like there have been some social advancements on other aspects of life, not
hmm
as much as we would want them to. All right, but at the very least, people can't get
hmm
away with killing ethnic minorities or women or like sexual
yeah,
minorities in the middle of the street and get away with it. At the very
hmm
least, that's like the lowest bar to set, though. All right, like if we stop there, then like nothing is going to matter in the first place. All right, and it's going to be really easy for us to backtrack. So what we need to do is carry on with the social advancements, and one way of doing it is
right,
with
right,
educational advancements. And
yes,
no educational advancements, or no, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. No substantial educational advancements
this is
has
your,
happened so far. Oh
yes,
yeah,
that's your idea of
me
substantial.
me punching my hand is my
Yes,
is
the signal
my
for substantial.
yeah. It's shut up.
Oh, I was just commenting on it. Yeah,
There we go.
but I do agree.
Yeah.
Um,
definitely.
Uh, yeah, no, I was actually thinking about this, right? I feel like that this is just I have no research to back this up, but it would be an interesting thing to research. Um, I feel like the modern classroom would look a little bit like a Socratic seminar type thing, in that you have the students sitting in a circle, and that's just the setup. And then the whiteboard or whatever you use to teach with isn't actually in the center of the classroom. And now I understand there could be a little bit of just logistical issues of like
Yeah,
where you are, but how I feel like seeing the faces of other students is a really beneficial thing, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like,
And being able to see students and talk to people across the room, in discussion and whatnot, I think is a really valuable thing and gets people, gets their brain juices flowing, right? And so
yeah.
I feel like if the classroom was kind of designed around that,
You know,
and yeah, go ahead.
interesting thing actually. The classroom setup over in Turkey was like very different from the classroom setup over in America. And like, of course, there were some classrooms where, like the students sat in a like, lines as if they were being categorized by like a Word document or something like that. Like,
Hmm.
obviously, there were classrooms like that, but
Hmm.
especially in classes regarding like, like non-lab classes, especially, what I'm saying, like English, Turkish literature,
Yeah.
like um language logistics, all that kind of like classrooms. They had you know they still had the teacher and the teacher table at the front of the classroom,
Yeah.
right? But the desks were shaped in a U formation,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
And if there were extra,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, and if there were extra desks, they actually had like a smaller U, and like, the shorter students sat at the front, and the
Yeah.
taller students sat in the back. And if there was any kind of logistical problems regarding like, eyesight and all that kind of stuff, that's actually how I found out that I needed glasses. My gosh.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So much time spent squinting at
Yeah.
whiteboards. Yeah. But yeah, like, yeah, that might actually be one solution to go with. But it's not
Yeah.
just a matter of logistics, is it? It's a matter of, how the teaching process goes.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's like, obviously still needs to be some data collection, and there still needs to be some, experimentation regarding on that field.
Hmm.
However, like, I do like the reason behind that is that this has not been a problem so far, but not to get too much into politics, especially in during the Bush administration, where the, No Child Left Behind policy was put into play, like that really highlighted the need for educational reform, because that wasn't really what the United States needed at that point. Like, neutering the educational system was, I think, a bad call. I'm sure people would disagree, but I, yeah. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, honestly, like, the, like, my, like, some of my most wholesome memories actually came from my teachers being wholesome. You know what I'm saying? They were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember a Turkish literature teacher that I had who was one of the funniest men I've ever met. And he oh my god, wait. I now know why I liked Devin so much, because he reminded me of my Turkish literature teacher.
Really? Huh.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's interesting.
He used to do all these different things, like, like,
Like characters.
not like characters, but he used to like, he had like a special way of
Like.
teaching, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like,
I get
Oh
that.
my
Yeah.
gosh, it's hard to explain because of like a cultural rift, but like he had a certain way of characterizing certain historical events. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh, he'd actually make us do like theater performances regarding books that we read, like right in a, and that's actually one of the things that got me into theater later on because like I I I had a thing where I pretended to be Prince Siddhartha, aka Buddha, and
Wonderful.
joked about how I reached enlightenment through, sniffing oils.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. It makes more
Yeah, I
sense in the
imagine.
context of it, but like, jeez.
So
Good
the
times, good times.
so Prophet Aaron was a thing even back in your Turkish
Shut
classroom.
up. Oh my god.
Wow, it runs
Oh
back
my
that deep.
god.
My
It runs
gosh.
back that deep. Yeah. Oh
I knew
jeez.
it. I knew it all along.
You knew it all along? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. No, I had a I think I don't know if it was a similar experience, but I too, one of my favorite teachers of all time, was also an English teacher and is an English teacher still.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and actually also had the U shape formation, which I thought worked
Nice.
really well,
Nice, nice,
especially
nice.
in an English class. But I think really should be the setup for almost all
Oh yeah.
classrooms, at least for now.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he was just so animated and so,
Right.
he, knew how to talk to students too, which I think was
Mm-hmm.
the really important thing. And he knew like what we were going through, which was
Yeah.
really, really awesome. And
See, I actually had a tutor at one point, and I will never forget what he said to me. He said, "The worst students makes the best teachers." All right, and
yeah,
that's true
that's
because
true.
like if a worst student becomes the best teacher, then they know how to draw their students' attention. They know how to connect with their students. Like they they care because they were at that level at some point and they
Yeah,
knew how to struggle. So
yeah,
yeah, there you go.
that's true. Now the more I think about it, right? It's
We have 3 minutes until the hour mark. Sorry,
it's all good.
I forgot to like 45-minute mark and all that
It's
kind of stuff.
okay. It's okay. I have a timer
Is it
too.
though?
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. It's often I don't want to say bad students because it's a little bit of a misnomer to
Well, the
say that.
term bad students is a relative term anyway, so
It
it's
is a
like,
relative term, but
yeah.
poor
Just to clarify, this is not me saying there are no bad students, there are only bad teachers. No, that's definitely not it. There are some fucking shit students. So,
yes, yes,
yeah.
absolutely. But the more I think about it, I've never heard of this quote before, but the more I think about it, I think
It was in
it's more
Turkish,
and more
so.
true. Yeah, yeah, but I think it does take a certain degree of diligence and patience and determination to really be a really good teacher.
Yeah.
And I think, and obviously, not all bad students become teachers, right? But
Oh, no. Yeah.
uh, I think from being a student who has had to, work harder or work,
Oh, shut up. You were an
more.
ASB.
I was an ASB.
I was an
Um,
ASB. It was such a
but
struggle. We had
yeah,
to get lattes instead of frappuccinos.
exactly. Um,
I'm sorry.
it's all good. It's all good. I have my ASB. You have your swearing in regular episodes. So,
And the profit jokes, yeah.
and the profit jokes. So, I think about now the other phrase that goes, those who can't do teach. which actually is in a similar train of thought, I think, with, you know, what your tutor was saying of, you know, the worse students become teachers
Oh my
kind of
God,
thing.
those. Oh yeah, we actually talked about that quote before, huh?
Oh, those who
Yeah,
can't do
those who can't
teach.
do
Yeah.
teach. Yeah, no, that's kind of no.
Do you disagree with that
Not gonna
statement?
lie, I do kind of disagree with that statement. Like, dude, you don't know their lives. Like, as far as you're concerned, this is the only job that, came up at that point, and now, they have their benefits and their pension on the line, so like they can't get out early. And they're still like struggling to find new jobs, but they also have to focus on their work, or else their pay is gonna get docked. Or
Oh,
so it's like,
gotcha.
dude, you
Gotcha,
don't know
gotcha.
their circumstances. What are you talking about?
Gotcha. I think we have differing interpretations of the phrase. I think
I
you
mean,
were,
like, yeah. Ugh.
because I specifically, are you taking it more kind of literally type of thing where it's like those who like literally have no other job become a teacher kind of thing, or
No, it's just like, it just implies that, they're like, how should I put this? Like, for example, they study to become, I don't know, a writer or something like that, right?
mm-hmm.
And, they wrote a novel or something like that, and
Yeah.
they, like, uh, got it to a publisher, and no publisher accepted it, right? And here's the thing: publishers don't accept a lot of things because it's not about what's creative, what's not, what's a good story, what's not. No, it's not about that. It's about marketing. You know what I'm saying? It's about the money. So it doesn't matter how good someone's story is, as long as it doesn't make past that phase, it's just not going to get published. So, like, and eventually they, they're like, oh, like, and every rejection, has them, more chips away at their own, mental state of mind, and they
Mm-hmm.
start thinking maybe I'm not that good of a writer, and they just, get a job as a
Mm-hmm.
teacher and just do that. So it's like you don't
Interesting.
know their lives, you don't know the circumstances
Interesting.
that they were, raised in. You don't know the circumstances that they, develop their current state of mind. You don't know their journey. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like just summarizing all of that with a quote just seems wrong to me.
Interesting. Okay. So I think then I feel like you have a more, I guess, literal interpretation of the phrase. And what I was thinking of, right, was kind
Sorry.
of the
Yeah.
more, no, it's all good. I'm glad we dissented on this opinion.
Right.
Um I was thinking more, I guess, in the philosophical way of those who can't do teach. Because the way I've been, the way I've heard the phrase was the fact that, people who often don't excel in a certain
Mm.
subject or area of expertise often become teachers, kind of thing. And what I mean by that is, for example, I'll just use a personal example, improv, right?
Right.
Now, I discovered recently um,
Now,
that
okay. Now I kind of get what you're trying to say. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
please
yeah,
continue.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now it
I
just
discovered
clicked. Yeah.
recently, right, that I just love teaching improv, and I just love, just that I discovered a new fire of like teaching that I,
Right.
through teaching improv, that I was like,
Nice,
wow,
dude.
this feels really, really good. And now, education is definitely something or educator is something I'm considering in the future, which
Nice.
you can do also as a doctor, which also I discovered, right? Because doctors can
Oh,
teach too, which I didn't know. Um,
yeah,
so
dude.
that's
Like,
definitely, yeah,
don't you know
sure.
the stereotype of like the teacher going, it's doctor actually. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Which gladly a lot of my professors actually, little tangent at UCI, prefer to go by their first name, which is really cool. And they're like,
nice,
"Yeah, I'm a
dude. That's cool
doctor,
of
but
them.
just
Yeah.
call me Jake." It's like, "Oh,
Yes.
very cool."
From State Farm. Okay, I'm
From
sorry. That
State
was a
Farm.
yeah.
Um, but back to the like the improv thing, right?
Right.
I realize, that or I speculate and I think about often, do I like teaching improv because I'm not as good at it as other people, right? And this is just
Right.
speculation. I still don't know the answer yet, but I think about the types of people who like teaching, right? And again, it's a generalization, so I can't speak for every case, but at least in my case, right? I find that, I like teaching things where I feel like I can, it's sort of like a feeling of, at least for improv, right? If
Right.
I'm like at this level, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's like a lot of improvisers who are at this level.
Yeah, the audience can definitely see that.
One hand is higher than the other is all you need to
Right.
know for that.
Yeah, the Neiman is supposed to be the lower hand of I
Yeah, so
think. I
I'm
don't
the
want to
lower
speculate.
hand,
Yeah.
and if improvisers are at this higher level,
Right.
then I enjoy teaching because I can teach everyone in this lower half. And
Oh,
something I
okay.
think about often too, right, is whether or not teaching induces this
Okay.
sort of superiority. And here's what I mean by that. Here, before you start pointing fingers, right?
No, no,
Here's what I
no.
mean
I
by
wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna. But
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
okay, good,
Now I'm
good.
gonna.
Oh no. What I mean by that is, again, I think it would be an interesting thing
Again.
to research, right?
Yeah.
Just being considerate.
Again. Yeah.
But again, it gives a feeling like you're enough is the perfect way to put it.
Oof.
It is a big oof, and I think I feel like I should ask my teacher friends now this sort of thing, because I feel like what happens is, my hypothesis is that people teach, and the phrase "those who can't do teach" comes from the fact that because you don't feel you're adequate enough to be at an advanced level, you teach so that you are compensating for that, difference. You know what I mean? By
Right.
teaching
Yeah, yeah,
others.
yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
by teaching, you sort of induce this feeling of I'm doing something productive for the world, and that comes in the form of teaching rather than
Right.
doing the actual like subject or whatever. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Yeah.
And so
Gotcha, gotcha,
that's what I'm
gotcha.
thinking, right? Again, speculation, so I can't say for sure.
It's actually an
But
interesting analogy now that I think about it. Like I'm just imagining a comic where it's like, all the people who are like, excelling in, a certain topic are like, at the top of the ladder, right? And all the people who are actually qualified to teach are like low enough on the ladder so that they can like, reach out with their hands and like, pull people up to their
mhm,
level. So it's like, I don't know, like I just thought of that as like, like a Sunday comic idea or something.
yeah.
But yeah,
And that
interesting. Yeah.
I think the interesting thing too is the intersection between what you just described, right? Like the people excelling and the people trying to pull up, right?
Uh-huh.
I think the intersection between that is professors or our professors, which are essentially the mix between being at the top of your field, but also being a teacher,
Right.
um, which I think is an interesting thing also, because, you're faced with this sort of, I guess, dilemma of being,
So like
someone who,
you're pretty decent at this, but like you're still pulling people up. So it's like,
right.
yeah.
And so I can only imagine how different that might be for a professor. Because also you have to consider, they're also trying to teach, thousands of students as opposed to
Oh
a
yeah.
first grade teacher
Oh yeah.
teaching 20 students, right?
Yeah.
So,
People have different levels, my guy. Like as far as we're concerned, like because at this point, the professor like sure can teach thousands of people at the same time, but like you know they have a bit more control over the room. I
mm-hmm,
feel like
mm-hmm,
like for example, oh yes, any questions? No, okay, good. Let's move on. Like that kind of thing.
mm-hmm,
So it's like they can lecture for hours without having to like individually deal with every single student because they're not here for that. They're just there to present themselves, introduce a topic to the students in a in a what's the word comprehensible way,
mm-hmm.
right? There we go, found the word. Haha, linguistics professor in the making.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
Oh geez. But yeah, like introduce that topic and just, screw off when they're done. So it's like, and the first grade teacher, they're at a point where they have to make sure every single student is at a point where they can comprehend it, right? And there's also the topic of like, filling certain quotas, like ensuring that there's a certain level of C's and B's and
Yeah,
A's, and it's
yeah.
like, like, and like, I really don't like that idea of quotas because, like, like, what
Why?
happens if you have an
Yeah,
entire class of geniuses and you have to, like, push people down even though they have the,
right.
the adequate level of, comprehension that they can actually, like, get a certain feel going for
Mm-hmm.
it, so
Mm-hmm.
this is especially true for English teachers, and I have nothing against English teachers, but I have everything against English teachers in that, like, it's more
Open-ended.
since it's more open-ended and more open, like, you write an essay and, like, the English teacher might not like it or might not like the student writing it, and they might give it, like, 20 points left, Gryffindor, because you looked at me with your eyebrows slightly up. Yes. Is it like it's that situation all over again?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, there's a I know we're cutting it short on time, but just really quick.
we're
Um
10 minutes over the hour mark.
I'll make this very, very brief, and we may
Hey,
or may
you're the
not
one. You're the one doing
mention
the
it.
editing and uploading because
Uh
I'm still having to deal with class.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Really briefly, I want to mention yeah, I actually had a discussion. Did you just flex? Was that
No, I stretched. What the hell?
okay? Because you were like, and I was like, oh, great.
No, I'm self-conscious about that. Why would you think I would do that?
It just looked exactly like a strongman pose, so I thought I'd just question, but that's okay.
No, my
Um,
shoulders were sore.
it's all good. Um, right. Uh, I actually had a discussion with a friend recently, and we were arguing about uh, how philosophy classes should be graded, right? And
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the strong post comment. I'm sorry.
you are a strong man, Aaron,
No, I'm not. I'm weak. I'm
but
weak.
but you have a heart of solid gold, therefore making it
Shut up.
strong. Um,
Gold is easily breakable. It's the crappiest metal in Minecraft.
but it's the
But it is the most
prettiest.
aesthetic. Oh, shut up.
It's the prettiest.
Your compliments
So,
will get you nowhere near my pants. Anyway, please continue.
oh man, that's. I guess I should stop giving them now that I know it's not going anywhere. Um, but we were having a discussion or an argument rather about philosophy classes.
Right.
And basically, she was making the point that similar to what you were saying, philosophy classes shouldn't be graded because of the fact that it's philosophy and it's supposed to be what you think, and you shouldn't be put to a standard in something that is opinion based.
Right.
And I was making the argument that yes, while it is an opinion based class, what you can grade is the format and standardizing the format, which is what most.
What the hell? No.
Ooh, are we gonna
Shut up,
have?
format. Shut up. The formats are stupid. All right. I cannot imagine. Okay.
I would love to hear your
Oh
thoughts.
boy.
I
Oh
would love
boy.
to hear
Oh
your
boy.
thoughts.
My my body is literally like inducing the fight chemicals right now. Like
My
I can
goodness.
feel myself heating up.
Oh, did
Like
I not upgrade
ready.
my walls? Is that what happened?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, here's the thing, okay? Formats are dumb, and the fact that schools are still using it are dumb, okay? Here's the thing, okay? the fact that students are forced to use the MLA format in their essays. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so sorry about the abrupt cut in the middle of my rant. However, we have decided to can it for the Can of Worms episode next time, where we actually get to curse and like get personal. I'm just kidding.
and get personal.
And get personal, yeah, because like my internet really decided to humble me in the like as I was getting like heated up, just like ready to punch my screen if necessary.
Internet really said, "Hold up just a minute."
Internet really said no.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, there you go. No heart emoji. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, Neiman, you want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Sorry,
and with that,
sorry we didn't get to play any improv games this episode.
it's okay.
We were planning.
We will
on
eventually.
That. We will eventually. Yeah, there you go.
With that, thanks for listening. This has been the Save It for the podcast. Please send us questions. You can find us at saveitforthepodcast with 2 T's at gmail.com. You can send us questions there, inquiries, whatnot, and we'll answer them on our next episode of the podcast. Or you can use the form found in our description. But thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.